Today we finally have a match versus Ishizu. The last video I uploaded was my branded deck versus Ishizu, and it didn't go so well because I had some illegal plays in the video, so I decided to take it down, not show you something that isn't real, I guess. And good thing I waited for this game, because this game was probably the most insane game in my life, or at least like the most insane match versus Ishizu tier. We got some of the longest end phases here. You're going to see all of it. But first of all, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you are new, and let's just start playing it. I win the die roll, and I open the Magnamut, Banishment Lost, opening Agium Chain. This is really good, and I think, honestly, right now, Branded Lost is the most insane card in this deck, and you're going to see exactly why. Once you start fusion summoning, and you do that for like a while, your opponent just cannot respond. So no Havenus, no Shufflers, nothing. And it's really taking the deck back into its prime. And my opponent opens a Kelbeck, a Merly, we got the Keldo here, a Planet, and a Shiren. So, of course, here you're always going to start with a Lost, pitching the Agium Chain, Chain 1, Chain 2, grabbing the Fright for Patchwork, and of course the Branded Fusion. Then I'm going to just go +1, a little bit more, and then you go Lost and Branded Fusion immediately. And now, if they want to respond, this is the time, and this is the only time they're going to be able to respond. So nothing in the chain is going to be, chainable, basically. I do go for the Bystial line here because, again, I technically don't know what I'm playing against, and this is the best line currently that I have. I'm going to go plus Insane here, and of course I have the Magnamut as well. So I add the Albion of the Lost, I banish the Agium Chain in the Albaz, I get the Mirror Jade, I toss the Brander again to the graveyard, and just because I'm going to summon the Lobelion later, so it's perfect to just pitch that, and then put it back on the field with the Branded Beast. But here I get the Kelbeck, and what I decide to do here is actually, I placed this by mistake. I was supposed to add, this is like a few minutes later it's supposed to happen, but just ignored that. Kelbeck is basically going to bounce my Mirror Jade, so I decided to make sure I get the plus off of it, and I decide to activate it, banish it, get the Titanic Lad to the graveyard in case there are more summonings here. They could still go into Havenus, stuff like that. So in the end phase, you can actually go Titanic Lad, bring out a Fallen of Albaz, and just fuse with their monsters on the field. And of course, they can't respond because of Lost, so they can't summon them back, which is crazy. So just to make sure I do that, and I actually decide, this was the whole explanation. Later, I actually decided to change it to Albalanitus, but it still makes sense. Like, if you want to go for Titanic Lad for that reason exactly, it's perfectly valid. You still end on a few good interruptions here. Basically what I did here is get the Branded Beast with the Lobelion. I don't know why I sequenced it like that. I kind of confused it. But still, you would still end on the Branded Beast. You should get the Regained back, Branded Fusion off of the Albalanitus, and the Theater from the Albion, which I had tribute to summon the Lobelion. So I do have the Banishment here, and I do have the Magnamut, and of course the Beast. Summon the Keldo. So this is here is a question. You know, they might be trying to just like bait my interruption. They have 2 left, and they actually do it successfully. Because they have the planet and they want to, plus off the planet. This all got here, and they have a really good hand. They managed to bait this out. Just go for the planet. Now I don't really have any way to respond here. They go Shiren, pitch the Rhino Heart, and they hit the Merly, the Kelbeck, and the Heartbeat. They mill me for 5. Let's see. What's the mill here? So they mill another Shuffler, a Sulliak, a Scream, which is really good, a Druid's Worm. I mill nothing, basically. 2 Shifters, which is really good for me because I don't want to draw them. And as you can see, they are in the main deck here. So we're going to go see them summoning. I always, if I have one Bystial, I always wait for the 3rd summon just to make sure that they are stuck. Because first summon, they go for a Mud Dragon to protect their field, then they go for a Kalos, but 3rd summon is where they go for the big boys. They go for the Rolcaros, or they go for the Kaleido Heart, And that's where you want to stop them, in my opinion. So I always hold off until then. They see the crime. I actually forget that they took the crime. Probably wasn't focused so much. And now they activate a shuffler here. I chain the banishment. They shuffle back my target. Yeah. And they also pop the Branded Lost with the field spell. But again, they're kind of stuck here. They can't really play that much. They do get the Kaleido Heart, attack for 3k, 3.5k. And they do have crime. So they actually don't have a lot. They do have a pop. They might have a shuffle. They have the crime and they have Avernus. It looks like a lot, but I also have a lot of follow-up and a lot of cards in my hand, and I also have 2 Bystials. So they bring back the Redoer. Thankfully, don't draw anything crazy, and I do have still another Albaz in my deck. Branded Fusion. Make sure I chain link because I know they might have the crime. I get the Aluber, and I bring back the Mirror Jade and the Albaz for another Mirror Jade. Normal summon the Aluber, get the red. So here with the red, I can actually go for an easy Chimera. And if they want to waste their crime on that, that's perfectly fine. If they want to waste a shuffler, they don't have a shuffler, so I can just do that pretty freely. I don't know if they have Bystials or not in their hand because this is still unknown. But it's good, just like look at how many resources I have to fusion and summon additional monsters. So I go for the Theater just as a bait to see if anything happens. Branded in red. Banish 3 for Chimera. I can't chain block this because I already used the Tragedy. So the Chimera just goes bye-bye basically. Then they decide to shuffle back the... with the Kaleido Heart, shuffle back the Mirror Jade. I chain the Mirror Jade to make sure it's banished when it leaves the field. Then, let's see, I activated a Magnamut here as well. And a Serenir. So, yeah, on the Havness and the Edgem chain. So I get something to bring back the Lobelion back. Bring back the Banded Beast that they shuffled back into my deck. And basically I can clear their field right now. They do have a Pearl Rhino, but I have the Branded Beast. So that's all they have. I get the Druid's Worm in the end phase. Branded Regain from the graveyard. They bring back the Redoer. Yeah, so... basically, they normal summon. How did they do that? I'm not really sure how that's steamrolled. But I might have... did I use the Beast on anything? I think I used the Beast on the field spell. And then I might have... I don't really know what happened here. But they kind of go off here. But I do have another Druid's Worm. So... here they have a Scream, which lowers my attack by 500. So it's such a back and forth game. I could have won it. Like, it looked like I was going to win it. But now it kind of looks like the opposite. So every turn, it kind of changes. They miss off of their mill. Now they take back one of my Serenir. They link off to Elf. Merly with the Itkalos Mill 8. Yeah, Mill 8. All of these. I think they hit the Havness on the last mill. So I have to Druid's Worm it, basically. They summon back with the Elf the Dark now. Regained just to make sure I draw a card. They bring back the Crime, attack my Lobelion. And so yeah, he wants to sort of kill the Dark. I don't know why he had to kill the Merly here. But he does want to kill the Dark to search for Havness. Now he doesn't have any Tier Limit monsters. And with the Magnamut, I just search for a Serenir. Branded Beast bring back Branded Lost, which is insane. And I draw the Super Poly for turn, and it's definitely game here. So yeah. Now I know that I want to go into... we're in a Discord call, so I want to go into battle phase. Then... what happens is they're, of course, going to chain to bring back the Merly because they have a Crime here. I'm trying to not activate any effects on field at all because I know that they have a Havness. And here I just Serenir it because I know that's their only option to get a Tier Elements monster. Go into battle phase and just Super Poly for game. Wait, 95% of you are not subscribed? Come on, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up on the video and subscribe if you are new for more awesome content. If you want 5% off any single or sealed product and want to support me and the channel, head over to tier0games.com and use code GALZO5 at checkout. So, game number 1 was a bit of a doozy, but you can see what I bring into my side deck here. So I think this side deck piece might have been like, you know, a bit trolly, I suppose, in the past. But if you play against tier Ishizu and they know that you're not playing tier Ishizu, they're gonna mill you like crazy. So actually having this was kind of beneficial. So I opened Owlbear, Edgem Chain, Branded Fusion, and Branded Opening. Again, really super good hand. Magnamut, Keldo, Druid's Worm, Planet, and Instant Fusion. Again, broken as well. Start off with the instant. I don't have any responses here, so I'm just hoping to God that they mill me. Search for the Merrily with the Pearly Rhino, Scream, Pitch, mill 11. And they hit the Kelbeck. So I'm just praying to God, activate the Kelbeck. They shuffle back a few cards. Then they mill me for 5. And the last card is Necromane King. So here, they're going to finish. It was like a Chainlink 5, I think. They're going to finish doing everything. Fusion Summoning. It's kind of nuts. Bringing back everything. Kaleido Heart and Rule Kalos. Now we go to the end phase, and they still get to play during the end phase. They have Bystials, but they decide only to summon the Kid Cows. They have another Fusion Summon. So they end on a Havness in hand, 2 Bystials, Rule Kalos, the Field Spell, Kaleido Heart, Scream. It's basically impossible. I start with the opening just to get the Lost, because the Lost is really hard for them, because once I start playing, they can't really respond to anything. So the Lost is the really MVP here. Lost, I activate the Lost and they just chain the Magnamut immediately because they know they won't have a chance to do that later. And yeah, they wanted it to get the mill off the Scream, and they actually hit, and they managed to get a Drago Stipele on the board. I tried to poly here because I wanted to go for a Chimera. They negated it with the Rule Kalos, unfortunately. Branded Fusion. I go straight to Titanic Lab because I know that since I don't have the Lost now because they pop it with the Field Spell, there's no way I'm doing anything here. So I just, because of the Scream, the Titanic Lad, which was supposed to be 3,700, is now 3,200, and because of the Field Spell, Dragon Spell is also 3,200. So what I'm trying to do here is get a Fallen of Albaz summon during the end phase so I can start fusioning with their monsters. This is basically the only play that I had. I also have a Banishment, which is a good follow-up, but they also have just too many cards. Honestly, too many cards. I set one. I set the Necromane King just to have some protection in the end phase. So look at this end phase, okay? Now they shuffle back during the end phase just to get better draws. I summon the Fallen of Albaz, activate the Albaz, pitch the Edgem Chain. I do get the summon with the Rule Kalos, but they also get a Havness. So they bring back the Rule Kalos, they mill, they actually manage to mill some cards. They shuffle back with the Kaleido Heart. They have a full board right now. Even if, I mean, I was kind of hoping that having that full board will actually help them, like, make them get stuck. But it didn't really matter at this point. We got the Albion to get us a Branded in red, which I didn't want to set. I wanted to go for in the end phase. So what I'm doing now is, we're still in the end phase, by the way, Branded in red to make sure I get a Chimera. Then Dramaturge, Chimera 1, Dramaturge 2, a Chimera for 2. So I'm going to pop the Field Spell and the Rule Kalos, and I'm going to draw an additional one, and I draw the Druid's Worm. Then they still manage during the end phase to summon their Saronir, banishing my Albion. They go for a Beatrice. I go for a Dramaturge here to negate the Kaleido Heart. Scream, it's such a good card, honestly. I get the Druid's Worm and I get Belled, and this is pretty much all she wrote with that Ghost Bell. Everything is lowered by 500, and he summons the Wallow, and it's just like OTK, basically. Game number 3. So we're now tied. Ishizu tier versus Branded Bystial. Again, this combo is insane because it gets you to Lost. You open the brand. This is basically almost the same one as I had before. And look at this. We got the talents. We have the Gamma for the Shifter, the Shiren, the Rhino, and the Terraforming. So again, very, very, very good. Now I'm able to chain block my Aluber to make sure that I get that branded lost. And once I have the branded lost, the Gamma doesn't matter anyway. And my opponent is very mad on Discord right now. So what I'm doing here is siding in the Banshee. So they can actually play under the Banshee, but they have to waste a few resources to do that. First of all, they need to have the field spell in order to pop the my field spell, my Zombie World. And second, their first fusion is never going to be a tier limits fusion. It's always going to be a Garura, because that's the only play that they can go for. So they essentially waste their first fusion and their first mill. And sometimes, because I have Bystials, they have to chain block and waste a few names on that. And this is what basically happens. So I decide to go for the Banshee. And what I do now is chain 1 Lubellion, chain 2 Lost. And within the same summoning window, since they can respond, I also activate the Necro World Banshee so that they can't do anything like Gamma or Orange Light or something like that. Zombie World, Albion, Fallen Valbaz, get the Mirror Jade. Regain should be in the graveyard here. I draw the Lubellion, which is insane. I go for the Lubellion. The Lubellion doesn't help me here. Actually, I just search for another Bystial because all of my monsters are zombies now. So you cannot activate Branded Beast. You cannot activate the Lubellion as well. I search for a Druis eventually. Set the Poly for bait and pass with two of these. So I'm pretty confident that since they have to waste their first fusion, I have 2 Bystials and I win this. So, and I also have Lost, which is also really good. Perla Rhino, not great. Havness. They go for a Shiren, pitch the Havness, and they mill 2 names. So here, we're talking on Discord. I'm like, what do you want to do? He's like, I'm going to activate both names, even though I don't have the targets for it. So I know that he only has 1 target, and he activates both of them in case I have a Bystial. So my decision here is to let both of those go through. He wastes 2 names on a Garura, and then he pops the Zombie World and starts playing. That's when I Bystial his 3rd summon, 3rd fusion attempt, and win the game. And this is exactly what happens. Garura, pop the Zombie World, wastes a name. Dark, activate the effect, grab, I think, the Edgem Chain. I activate the Mirror Jade here. He activates the Twin Twister. This was such a good bluff because they usually think it's like a Branded Narand or Banishment, but it's actually nothing. He just wasted that, and of course, the Cypher Gear Gamma, which had no use. So here, he basically needs to, he opts to look at my hand, and he hopes to see 1 Bystial, but he sees 2. Normal summon Rhino, get the 3rd name, Bystial, and yeah, attacks, but that's basically all she wrote. So yeah, that was a bit messy in the beginning, but I hope you kind of see some of the plays. I didn't even open 1 shifter, even though it's in my main deck now. Let me know if you want to see this list soon on the channel, and I really hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to be doing much more of these. I really hope you like them, and I hope you enjoy. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.